Gray's Peak. Gray's Peak is the 10th highest summit of the Rocky Mountains of North America in the U.S. state of Colorado. The prominent 14,278-foot, 4,352 meters, 14er is the highest summit of the Front Range and the highest point on the Continental Divide and the Continental Divide Trail in North America. There are higher summits, such as Mount Elbert, which are near, but not on, the divide. Gray's Peak is located in Arapahoe National Forest, 3.9 miles, 6.2 kilometers, southeast by east, bearing 122 degrees, of Loveland Pass on the Continental Divide between Clear Creek and Summit counties. The peak is the highest point in both counties. Gray's Peak is one of 53 14ers, mountains of over 14,000 feet, 4,300 meters, in elevation, in Colorado. Botanist Charles C. Perry made the first recorded ascent of the summit in 1861 and named the peak in honor of his botanist colleague Asa Gray. Gray did not see, and climb, the peak until 1872, 11 years later. Gray's Peak is commonly mentioned in conjunction with adjacent Torrey's Peak. Climbing. Like the other 14ers nearby, Gray's Peak is considered to be an easy hike by 14er standards, and is very popular among weekend climbers. Often a climb to the summit of Gray's Peak is accompanied by continuing on to Torrey's Peak, less than a mile away. The main trail, Gray's Peak Trail, departs from Stevens Gulch. To get to the Stevens Gulch trailhead, take I-70 west from Denver about 50 miles, 80 kilometers, to Bakerville Road, exit 221. From there, take Stevens Gulch Road south about 2.5 miles, 4.0 kilometers, to the trailhead. As of the summer of 2009, Stevens Gulch Road is still open for traffic, but is no longer maintained. With cuts in the road over 2 feet deep and large stones in the path, travel to the trailhead is only feasible for high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicles, motorcycles or all-terrain vehicles. From the trailhead, it is a hike of about 3.5 miles, 5.6 kilometers, and a climb of 3,040 feet, 930 meters. The trail, well-marked and well-trodden, begins by following the gulch for a slow rise in elevation, before hitting the steeper slopes. The summit includes a very small U-shaped rock shelter where a log book is maintained. Extensive views stretch south to Pikes Peak in the San Luis Valley, east to the Great Plains, west to Silverthorne, and north to Longs Peak and Rocky Mountain National Park. At the climber's option, the trail continues from the summit north to Torrey's Peak. The trail descends the saddle down to 13,707 feet, 4,178 meters, before climbing back to the summit of Torrey's Peak at 14,274 feet, 4,351 meters. Wildlife. Wildlife in the area includes mountain goat, pika, cougar or mountain lion, mule deer, elk, marmot, coyote, ptarmigan, American red squirrel, and Canada jay. Wildflowers that bloom in the tundra area on the Continental Divide of the Americas include moss campion, Silene nicalis, alpine forget-me-not, Myosotis alpestris, sky pilot, Polemonium viscosum, sea pink, old man of the mountain, Rydbergia grandiflora, and mountain gentian, Gentiana. Below the tree line, the blooms of monkshood or wolfsbane, blue columbine, fireweed, and paintbrush, Costiaea, can be found.